Welcome to the next video in my series about the Dark Eye core rules, and I'm going to tell you something about invocation. There are two different kinds of invocation. You can summon something elemental and you can summon something demonic. And what you can summon is pretty different between demonic creatures and elemental creatures, but the game mechanics for summoning are pretty similar. And keep in mind, these are summoning rituals, so all the rules for rituals apply here. But I'm only going to cover the specific rules that are described here for summoning creatures. And first, maybe I should say something what kind of creatures you can summon with when you're summoning a demon and what you get when you summon elemental creature, because there are not many examples and there are not many details given about this in the core rules. There are only examples of two elemental creatures, fire spirit and fire djinn, and I think there are only 2 or 3 demons as example. And for elemental invocation, first you have 6 different elements. You have fire and water, you have wind and ore, you have water and ice. And you can pretty much summon the same creatures of every element. There is a spirit of each element, which is not very intelligent and not very powerful, but it's easy to summon. And then there are djinns of every element, and that's not in the core rules, but I expect it to be in the advanced rules for magic. There are elemental masters, which are the most powerful and most difficult to summon. I think they will bring them back. I don't know. In the core rules, it's spirits and djinns. And spirits and djinns of different elements are pretty much very similar. They only have a bit of different attributes based on their element. For example, a fire element or fire creature is better in attack and does probably more damage than, for example, a wind or an air element. And or elemental might be tougher and have more armor value and may hit harder, do more damage, but have lower attack value and lower defense value and such. So there are a bit of the representation of their element in their attributes. And for demons, this is completely different. You have 12 different, how to call it, you have 12 gods and you have 12 archdemons, and every archdemon has minions which are horned demons or minor demons. And what you get in these 12 different categories of demons is completely random and chaotic, because that is that's the nature of demons. You can go all crazy if you want to invent your own demon. There are specific demons known, and when you call them, they are mostly all the same when you get them. When you have summoned them, they have the same abilities and same properties, but all the different demons are very, very different. You don't only have a minor demon and a horned demon. You have different types of horned demons. You have different types of minor demons, and what they can do is completely different. And for some, they have been summoned and you don't really know what they can do. And aside from these 12 different types of demons that follow the 12 archdemons, there are also demons that don't belong to any of these, and there are demons that belong to a certain god called the Nameless One. And if it's about demons and you want to invent something, you can basically have any effect, any ability, any appearance, anything you want, and you can always justify it because Being chaotic and being unpredictable and completely different is just what being chaotic is just what demons are about. Completely contrary to the elementals, for example, where you have always a minor spirit and always a gene and always an elemental master, and there is nothing else you could summon in terms of elemental creatures. So that is the basic principle between the elemental creatures and the demonic creatures. So, but now let's explain the rules. And although you can summon completely different types of creatures with demonic invocation and with elemental invocation, the rules for invocation are pretty similar. And keep in mind, these are rituals to invoke the creatures, and all the rules for rituals apply here. But I'm only covering the specific rules for elemental invocation and for demon invocation, and not repeat the other rules that apply to rituals here. So for the demonic invocation, there are 3 different rituals you can learn or have to learn. And the first ritual is Invocatio Minor. It's the first ritual you have to learn. And no, it's an Invocatio Minima. Invocatio Minima is the first ritual you have to learn. And it doesn't summon a creature, it only summons some demonic material like slime or poisonous gas or something. And only a tiny bit. It's only a little piece you get. And you have to master this invocation before you can learn the Invocatio Minor. Invocatio Minor will invoke a minor demon, and when you have mastered Invocatio Minor, which means you have it at a certain skill level, then you can learn Invocatio Major, and Invocatio Major will summon a hornet demon, which are the most powerful demons. And the number of horns tells you something about the strength of the demon, how powerful it is. The horns can range from 1 to, I really don't know, up to 9, 10, 12, 13 or something. But these would be super. The highest horn demons are super rare, and sometimes there is only 1 or 2 known of that kind, if at all. So for the elemental invocation, there is the Manifesto ritual, which also just summons some piece of element for a piece of ice, a little stone, or a drop of water, or a few drops of water, something like that. If you have mastered that, you can learn the elemental spirit, or what is this called? Elemental servant ritual, which will call an elemental spirit, and then you can learn the ritual that will call a gene. And the rules for invocation are pretty similar for all these rituals. First, you have to prepare the location of the summoning. Keep in mind the rules for time, place, dress, and preparation of ritual site apply here for the rituals. But there are additional things you should do when you or you have to do when you're summoning a creature. First, when you're summoning a demon, it is advisable to use special safety measures. For example, protection circle and the banishing circle. A protection circle is something you draw into the ground, loaded up with astral energy, and you are in the center of it, and the creature cannot enter this. So it protects you from the creature when when something goes wrong, then the creature is not under your control. A banishing circle is a quite opposite. You draw it around the place where you will summon the creature, and the creature cannot leave this circle unless you destroy it. And this also protects you from the creature. This is only necessary for demons because elementals are usually more harmless. But for elemental invocation, you need some of the element to invoke the creature. For a spirit, you only need a little of the element. For a gene, you need a higher quality of the element, more pure element, or you need more of the element. That's what you need to prepare for the invocation ritual, and then you simply cast the spell. You cast the ritual, you perform the ritual, you roll your test, and you will see what your quality level is. If you failed in the test, then nothing happens if you try to call an elemental creature. You just failed and have to pay half of the invocation cost. And if you fail in the invocation of a demon, there can be severe consequences. Even if you don't roll a critical failure on the invocation of the demon, you have to roll on this chart and see what happens, and usually nothing happens. From 1 to 14, you get no result, nothing happens, the demon doesn't appear, you have failed, and you pay half of the astral energy cost, that's all. And for a higher results, you summon some of the material and demonic material, more than you would do with the Invocatio Minima. And if it's really bad and you roll a 19 or 21, then you would the demon would appear, but it is not under your control. So that's what can go wrong, and where you would need the protection circle for. The list here goes up to 21. You roll on this list with a d20, and you can reach 21 when you make a critical failure in the invocation of the demon. In that case, you add 15 to the result, and this will bring you to the rest of the table here, and there are more severe consequences. For example, there could be a different demon could appear. You summon a demon, but a different one, and it might not be on your control. Or you summon a more powerful demon, which can especially be dangerous if you summon only a minor demon and a horned demon appears, because the protection circles are for specific types of creatures. So if you try to summon a minor demon, you have minor demon protection circles in place, but they won't work on a horned demon that all of a sudden appears, and the horned demon is more powerful and can just attack you if he wants. So that's what can go wrong if you are summoning a demon. If you are successful with your summoning roll, and the summoning roll, I haven't mentioned this, is modified by the difficulty of the creature that you want to summon. Every creature has a summoning difficulty assigned to, and the more powerful the creature, the more difficult it is to summon it. So if you succeeded in your summoning roll, then you will look how many quality levels you get. You get 1 extra quality level, and you can use these quality levels for services. Basically, roughly each quality level is 1 service the creature will perform for you. Sometimes you have to, for some services, you have to just give up all quality levels, and you have to have at least 2 in that case. Or in some cases, you simply have to pay 2 or more quality levels for service. Something you also can do with your quality levels is improve the creature. You can improve its values. For example, here this chart tells you what you can improve about a creature. You can improve the offense abilities, attack +2, damage +4. You can improve defense, parry +2, armor value +2, and hit points +10. You can improve the speed, which means +2 speed, +2 dodge. You can improve the magical abilities. If the creature can cast spells, all genes can cast spells with their element as spell class. This improving the magical abilities will improve all the spells by 4. and you can improve the resistance, which will improve the physical resistance and the mental resistance, and it will also give the creature resistance against magical attacks, magical weapons. You can improve the attributes. You can improve the 4 mental attributes like courage, intelligence, intuition, and charisma, or you can improve the 4 physical attributes like agility, dexterity, constitution, and strength. You will always improve them by 2 points, all 4 of them at once. And the services you can get from a creature is, the most basic service is when you do nothing with the creature, then you use up 1 service with every new dawn. Every time the sun goes up, you lose 1 service on the creature, so the creature will not stay with you infinitely. The creature will follow you wherever you go and will be in distance, so you can command it, but if you wait too long, too many days, it will just vanish and use up all your services. Otherwise, there are specific things that the creature can do. For the demons, it is highly dependent on the demon, what he can do and what he cannot do. And I will go through the list of the possible services now. One service is work. There are specific, for example, demons who are used as workers to build something. Of course, it is then somehow demonically influenced whatever is built and can create problems, but that may be the intention of the thing. Also, it is not uncommon to summon a gene or something to build something with his element. For example, an ore demon that will, or gene that will create something out of stone or something like that. Then another service is as an advisor, or you can talk simply to the creature and ask it questions. For example, you could try to summon a gene in a certain place to talk to it and to ask it if it has been longer here. Genes live, it's not known how long they live, but they're ages old, and they may be able to tell you what happened in a place yesterday or a few hundred years ago, if the creature had still been has already been present in the place at that time. But you never really know. You could also get summon a creature, a gene that is from a totally different place because no other gene is here or something like that. Then the creature can use its special abilities. This is mostly something you would use with a demon, because some demons have very specific, unique abilities that you can make them use for you. Then you can use the creature in combat. You can order the creature to attack one target, and this will cost you 1 service, and the creature will fight with that target. You can order the creature to fight with more targets, but this will basically use up all your services you have. And if the creature gets attacked, it automatically will defend. So you don't have to use a service for defending. Another service is the creature can spy for you. It will go somewhere and observe what is happening and come back to you and explain you what it has seen and what happened in the place it observed. Then the creature can also search for you in a not too large area. It will search for you for a certain time, and after that you will have to give it a new serve. You have to use a new quality level if it is supposed to keep searching or search somewhere else. And a very special service is the guard service. With all these services, if they take longer than a day, or if they go past the next dawn, they will use an additional quality level, an additional service just for being there for the next dawn. So if the creature is fighting and is fighting past dawn, then you will need another quality level, another service for the creature to stay with you and keep on fighting. The guard service is different here. A guard service, basically you tell the creature to guard a place, or you tell the creature to guard a person, and then you have to pay all of your service, all of your quality levels, all of your services, if you have at least 2, and then the creature will stay with you or with that person or with that place for up to a year. And it will only leave earlier if it has to fight someone. If it has to fight someone and has won the fight, then it will disappear after the fight, and you have to summon a new creature to guard the place. These are all the services, or in general the services. Of course, you can always come up with something of your own, what the creature would do, and then say this costs 1 or 2 service points. And the last thing I'm going to explain is the circles, the protection circles. They're pretty simple to use. You first have to paint them onto the ground, and you don't really have to paint them. It is not uncommon, if you are a summoner, to have a place in your house where you're usually summoning, and where you, for example, have carved the circle into the ground, and even have filled up the shape with metal or something, though the whole thing stays permanent and you don't have to renew it every time. Or for a portable circle, people often use something like a carpet or a rug, where the shape is where the shape, the circle, is printed on or somehow woven in. So you have to have this circle, and then you basically, in a short ritual that takes about 5 minutes, you load it up with a certain amount of astral energy, and then it works, and you step inside and are protected, or you summon the creature inside and the creature cannot go out. There are 4 different types of circles described in the core rules, and they are skills you can learn, and they are for different types of creatures. For example, there is one you can learn for elemental spirits, one for genes, one for minor demons, and one for hornet demons. And one skill usually includes the banishing circle and the protection circle. So that's the rule for invocation. As I said, there are not a lot of examples of creatures you can invoke in the core rules. It's very limited. In the old edition, there were dozens and dozens of completely different demons described, and a lot more detail was given about elemental creatures. I would imagine that they bring some of this back in another rule book about magic. There is going to be such a rule book, or maybe there will be more rule books, one for invocation, I don't know. But there was more than in the 4th edition than you now have in the 5th edition. But in the 4th edition it was also a specific book. It was a new specific book just for magic, with a lot of magic in it, information in it, and nothing else. So if any questions, then feel free to comment or send me a message and ask, and I'll try to answer it. Else, that's it now for the invocation rules, and the next will be about creating artifacts. So bye.